a comprehensive inquiry to determine how the United States government came to authorize torture. And I'd asked for such a nonpartisan commission a year ago. I wanted to take it out of politics, have somebody like the 9/11 Commission look into it. Without support, we're unable to get that, and I think that's unfortunate. But since that time, we've seen more and more evidence of what went wrong. We've seen the release of more Office of Legal Counsel memoranda documenting the authorization of brutal practices, an Inspector General report that calls into question the guidance given by the Department of Justice, a CIA Inspector General report that reveals even those lax standards were violated during interrogations, and last week, finally, the release of the results of the Office of Professional Responsibility inquiry into the legal advice given by those at the Office of Legal Counsel. I go down through that chronology because I think all these narrow reports point to why we need a comprehensive review. None of them can state definitively why these practices veered so far from American values. The OPR investigation was limited to determining whether or not legal profession rules were violated. Well, that's the business of bar associations. Let bar associations worry about that. In my view, is the wrong focus. These legal memoranda were only part of the problem. They were intended to provide a golden shield to commit torture and get away with it. It's now evident, even though the OPR investigation has consumed years, it's not complete. The investigators were denied access to key witnesses and documents. Did they interview David Addington, the counsel to Vice President Cheney? No. But yet, according to Alberto Gonzalez and Jack Goldsmith, he was a key figure. Mr. Gonzalez, former Attorney General, called him an active player in the drafting of these memoranda. Did they have the full record of John Hughes' communications with the White House? No. There are so many gaps in this report that, in fact, my first question to the Justice Department witness today is going to be, where are Mr. Hughes' emails, which by law, are required to be maintained? The fundamental question here is not whether these were shoddy legal memos. They were shoddy legal memos. Everybody knows that. The legal work of you and Bybee and Stephen Bradbury, the acting head of OLC, who reaffirmed the CIA interrogation program, is flawed. It failed to cite significant case law. It twisted the plain meaning of statutes. The legal memoranda were designed to achieve an end. That's not what the Office of Legal Counsel should do, or has ever done in any other administration, Republican or Democratic. These administration lawyers of the last administration, frankly, lost their way. In my view, President Bush was actually deserved by the lawyers who worked for him. These lawyers told the administration not what President Bush should have heard, but rather what Vice President Cheney wanted to hear. Without question, our government institutions were undermined. The rule of law was disrespected. The American people were harmed, and I think put at far greater security risk. The torture of individuals was not just a violation of our laws and treaties. It handed al-Qaeda a valuable propaganda tool to gain new recruits. Instead of making us safer, it made us less safe. And focusing on where these lawyers failed to meet legal ethics standards misses the fundamental point. The real concern is that lawyers who are supposed to be giving independent advice regarding the rule of law and what it prohibits were instead focused on excusing what the Bush-Cheney administration wanted to do. These lawyers abandoned their independent responsibilities to become apologists. The role of the White House in the politicization of the OLC and ensuring that these opinions delivered the legal immunity they are looking for is yet to be fully explored. My sense is such a review would reveal the same untoward and corrupting influence we found when we investigated the purging of United States attorneys for blatant political purposes. And as disturbing as the findings and evidence from this limited investigation are, they're not the final arbiter. I do believe we need a true accounting, a comprehensive, nonpartisan review. For the country to recover from this era, we should know what went wrong so it won't happen again under this administration or the next administration or the administration after that. Unfortunately, the Obama administration's attempts to repair this office and ensure that its lawyers are providing the government with principled advice have been hamstrung by those who are continuing to delay appointment of the president's nominee to head the OLC. Now, I've been conducting oversight of these issues for years. I was deeply concerned this country is treating people in our custody in a way that went against our laws and our values. That's why I did not hesitate to issue subpoenas for these memoranda when the last administration refused to cooperate. And the release of those memos revealed how they were justifying torture. And I'm going to continue that aggressive oversight. I want to make sure that no future administration, I don't care whether it's my party or the other party, makes such mistakes.